Aloha, it's Dave Lawrence, and I'm very privileged today to follow up with a gentleman who I had as a guest as our broadcast of NPR's Weekend Edition this morning on Hawaii Public Radio. And he's the founder, the frontman from one of California's true music innovators, and that's Cake, and it's John McCrea. Aloha and mahalo for taking some time, John.
Aloha. Thank you.
It's a real pleasure to get to speak with you. And cakemusic.com is one of the more well-kept internet sites for a band. You put so much time, and I'm really thrilled to talk to you about it. Is it you who does all of those updates in the news section?
Yeah, it's the band. Yeah, it's mostly Vince and I, the trumpet player, and I that do the work. So.
Well, if any of the fans have been following it, we know that the 2 dates, Cake's first ever shows in the islands, what a welcome for you to be able to do not one, but 2 dates at a major venue, and you have to arrive under the weather, and fans have already been able to read about it. They've already been able to see the rainbow that you shot from your hotel room. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot better, and I think I can get through it. But you're right, it is nerve-wracking to suddenly be like way under the weather. First time out here, you kind of want to do a good job for people, and then you just get sort of struck down, and I get really angry when I get sick. So anyway, I'm feeling a lot better though, and the rainbow, was very magical. There are unicorns and all kinds of things like that.
Do you do twit pics?
I don't, but Vincent DiFiore I think does once in a while. Yeah.
We get so many rainbows in front of my apartment. I was going to say, if you follow me on Twitter, I'll start sending you out some @replies just for you, because I get many rainbows.
Oh, that's nice.
So how was your first gig here? Tell me about, and again, it is really something to say about your work. All these years you've put into your career here, that your very first arrival in town, you're doing 2 nights. How was the first one?
It went really well. It seemed like people knew the words to the songs, and I'm just amazed that anyone really knows about us out here in the middle of the ocean. We've never really, had a chance to put the the work in here to build a following, but I guess that's what electronic media are there for, and we're just thankful that we can come for the first time and have a bunch of people actually know the words to the songs and have a good time in that way.
So you felt appreciated. They have a nice back room there with all the records and stuff on the wall too, huh, at the venue?
Yeah, that was good, and it seemed like a nice sort of well-worn-in music venue.
One of the cool things about your conversation with me the other day was we found something that we shared in common. A friend of yours is a good friend of some of my friends, Robin Baird.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I just want to tell a few people about it, just in case there are Hawaiians that don't know that, a fairly major thing is happening out there with one of your whales, and a pretty amazing whale, the false killer whale that has some just really wild behavior that is unlike any other behavior. They are compulsive food sharers. One of them will catch a fish and they will pass it around the circle of whales. No one takes a bite out of it. They all just kind of check it out and pass it on. And then they pass it around again. Everybody takes a little bite. And one of them could easily devour the entire fish in one gulp.
Yet they share.
So it's just really sort of weird, sort of bonding, sort of trust thing. You have.
What does it say about their ability to coexist, I guess?
Well, they trust each other. I don't know a lot of humans that could do that, right. So, and there's certainly no other animals that do that. They do it if they have to, but basically lions share food because basically they're gorging themselves as fast as possible, and they share a little bit of food, but nothing ritualized like this. So it's a very unusual animal, and basically they're disappearing. There's just a few left around the Hawaiian Islands, and so hopefully people will start hearing about this and maybe maybe have some events, raising people's awareness about it.
What stirred, of all the animals, because so many animals are facing extinction and facing encroachment on their terrain at the hands of humanity, and it could be animals in China, it could be animals in North America, it could be animals in the ocean right here in Hawaiian waters. What made you so passionate about these particular animals and their fate?
Oh yeah, I know, because there's just wholesale destruction everywhere you look, and why this particular animal.
And no minimization of them,
Yeah.
because all animals are beautiful, and I take nothing away from them, but it's just interesting that you're drawn to them, and it's great that they have you as an ally.
It's hard to know where to start, isn't it, when everything is just being destroyed. It's actually just coincidence. I was visiting some friends who are whale researchers up in the San Juan Islands, up in Washington. And they said, hey, a friend of ours is giving a lecture about these false killer whales, and that was Robin Baird. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it's just kind of like, and you kind of have to do that in your life. You sort of take whatever things come your way, and you run with them, and if you're interested in them, you know that's what you're looking at. And I'm sure there's millions of other animals that, or at least thousands, that probably need someone's attention, but. You know, I just thought here's some animals that have something to teach us.
By way of their behavior.
Yeah, in a way, you know, this is the exact lesson that we need to be learning as we're obliterating them. It's just so profound.
And it goes hand in hand. The other thing about cakemusic.com that really you're to be commended for is the social advocacy. I don't know a better way to describe it. There's an undercurrent, or maybe more than that, of a social awareness through these updates that you have. And I'm just curious, where does it come from? Is it the parents? Is it something that you got into, maybe teachers? And just a little bit of the background of John and how your website actually talks about stuff that matters in the world. It's a lot more than a website about cake.
Well, it's a tough one because, you know, the president is pretty bad for entertainers, sort of sharing messages about the environment or social issues. It tends to look pretty creepy and bad and hypocritical, and I've always been sort of painfully aware of that, and it's made me really reluctant to say anything.
To be that guy.
Yeah, to be that guy. To you know, it is painful to listen to Barbara Streisand talk about politics. It's hard. You know, Bono's a great guy, but he's like very messianic in his posturing. And,
Great word.
yeah, and so I don't think that's the job of musicians necessarily, but as somebody that's got a website and has a band. And who is a citizen of the United States, and I feel like I have a right to talk about it, and hopefully I'm not, being, didactic in a creepy way. I think mostly it's just I'm a human being, and this is something fairly huge that's going on. I would say, I think we should all be talking about it. I mean, when you ask, okay, what kinds of influences got me wanting to talk about it, I have to ask you and everyone else, what kinds of influences got you not wanting to talk about it? What the fuck is wrong with people that can sort of like coexist with these kinds of things in a calm way?
Oh yeah, and I don't either. I have my own. I mean, there are so many issues, and I wrote some of my favorites down. I was going to say what causes, because you have yours. I guess it would be for me. I used to love going to the Montreal Jazz Festival every summer, but then when I grew up and I understood how many hundreds of thousands of harp seals the Canadians allowed their citizens to beat to death, these little baby seals, it's sort of, I can completely relate. So, I think a lot of people are plugged in, but the difference might be you've allowed yourself to really have your band be a vehicle for these truly righteous causes.
Yeah, also, it's just that we don't want to have a website that's about our favorite color or stupid, things about ourselves. Yeah. Does a website have to be about the narcissism of a band? Maybe it can be about things that band is interested in. And these are things that we are genuinely interested in. If you're not interested, you could go to a different band's website that's interested in wearing black makeup or whatever, some more similar interests that you have. But for us, we're not interested in it. We're interested in, looking at what's going on in a maybe larger scope than black makeup. So, that's where we're at. It's not for everyone, obviously, and we like raising the questions. I think mostly just asking the questions. Are we comfortable with with, for instance, are we comfortable with the obliteration of all false killer whales? You know, these really interesting animals. I'm not, but I don't know.
It goes hand in hand with you and our needs. You know, coming from Hawaii Public Radio, it was a really refreshing thing to see you were listening to NPR mentioned in the notes at your website. And if you could just mention to, when you think about it, what are the things that you listen to and that are your favorite things about public radio?
Well, I mean, I spent this morning listening to Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. That's just such a, I don't know, it's just, that show makes me sick. You know, it's really funny, and it's just so overly clever, and it's I like This American Life. I like those shows are some of my favorites. I don't know if you guys get this one here, but another show that can be really good is that show about science called Radiolab. I find really fascinating. But
I don't know if we run that.
Oh, you should run it.
We may run it. Yeah. We have so much stuff. I don't even know.
Yeah, give it a listen. It's great. And so I just, it gets me through the day sometimes. And I'm sure that if I were living in Hawaii, which I wish I were, but it would probably, I don't know if I'd need to listen to public radio if I lived in Hawaii, but never.
Wrong thing to say.
No.
You would love the public.
No, I would love to, actually. You know what? It would prevent me. You can edit that out. I think if I lived here, it'd prevent me from becoming, completely isolated in my little paradise. I think more than ever, you'd probably need living in Hawaii to be connected to what's going on, in the rest of the world. It's not just your island.
And when it comes to supporting public radio, if for the people who are listening, if you could provide some sort of incentive as to why they should support an organization that actually asks for money. Everywhere else in the dial, no one else asks for money. But twice a year, we actually have to ask people for their support. And it's rare to find time with an artist who actually, who takes the time to talk about public radio on their website. So if there's any sort of thing that you would say to people, a reason why they should support public radio or public media in general.
The reason I support my local public radio station has to do with the disappearing of journalism generally in the United States of America, and how important real journalism is for democracy. I'm a big fan of democracy, and but I also know that democracy doesn't function properly without that checks and balance system that a good information system provides. So that's why I give money to public radio station, and I think that's why you should too.
Good for you, man. Well, Hawaii Public Radio appreciates you, and we hope that before you exit the state, do you have your laptop with you?
It's somewhere, yeah.
Well, HawaiiPublicRadio.org. You can listen online. Maybe you catch some of your favorite shows, plus some of our local news.
Yeah, actually, I've been listening this morning.
To us?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
So, okay. Yeah.
Did you hear yourself on Weekend Edition?
No, I didn't. I missed it. But I've been listening all day because I feel crappy today, and I've just been sitting in my hotel room listening to the damn radio. So having a great time,
With our station?
Yes, absolutely.
Was it on the actual radio?
Yes.
So you're KIPO or KHPR?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think it's the right one.
We have both. We have two.
You get so luxurious.
Isn't that nice? We can do 2 streams of programming.
That's
not
awesome.
One public radio stream. We do 2.
That's awesome. Well, I hope I was listening to the right one.
We have them both.
Okay. Well, I hope
you have 100% chance of having listened. John McCrea from Cake. I really do appreciate it, man.
Well, thank you.